so much more fun than anything you'll find in Baldur's Gate. Or the Hells, for that matter. Not that I'm suggesting we stop for a drink, of course.
Drink it in. That sweet, sweet chaos. Not that I approve of goblins, of course, filthy little beasts, but I do like a good den of debauchery.
Damned goblins. Monsters. Every last one. The kind I was culling from Sword Coast hamlets just a 10 days ago.
As if mingling with a horde of goblins wasn't bad enough. Let's do what we have to do, then get out of here. Quite the understatement, but yes. Let's not linger in this place any more than necessary.
Oi! Ain't no party in here! We're doing the Absolute's work! State your business, now!
As the symbol glows, power courses through you. Authority.
Can't be here to see the true souls. Those types don't even bother to wait. Well, I didn't say that. But you'll need to be more specific, mate. Absolute's blessed us with 3. You here to see Priestess Gut, Boss Razglin, or the Drow? Do you now? Might feel different once she puts a burning brand to you. She's through the main doors. Just follow the smell of burnt goblin arse.
Now here's somebody special. The Absolute has touched you, hasn't she? Priestess Gut needs to touch you too. Hold out your arm so I can mark your flesh.
A priestess. One of the leaders, no doubt about it. Let's make her squeal.
What's that? Tell your friend to keep quiet, or he'll lose his good eye. Ready for the fire, are ya? Let's the faithful recognize one another quick sharp. That way nobody'll mess with ya. And it's charged with magic. Ordinary slobs can't see it, only us that follow the Absolute. You ready? Brace yourself, this'll sting. Maybe you don't need it. After all, you're special, ain't ya? Like me.
She probes your mind, tangling your thoughts with hers. A familiar sensation. She too carries a power. Darkness seems to swallow the temple, leaving you with a vision of the goblin priestess receiving instruction from a handsome young man, one of the chosen. The vision dissolves away. You stand before the goblin priestess in the temple once again. Her faith floods into you, a tide of shuddering ecstasy. Her tadpole nestles within that mania, secure, hidden.
I feel you in there, digging around. Works both ways. And I saw some weird shadows swimming around in your head just now. Maybe I can help with that. Us true souls gotta look out for one another. With the Absolute's will, I can fix anything. Let's deal with this in my chapel. It's private. Don't want this lot interfering with true soul business. Your head. Whatever the Absolute tells me to. Don't worry, she loves you. I can tell. The Absolute will protect me. You don't stand a chance.
It's a true soul parasite. It can enhance you. You can absorb its potential. Open your mind to it. You already know how. You are not ready. That's all right. But try to overcome this resistance sooner rather than later. It will make things much easier for you.
You know, if that parasite isn't to your taste, I'd be happy to consume it in your stead. I don't relish the thought, but if you're going to just leave it sitting in your pack, well, one of us should try it. Oh, I have my reservations, no question. First of all, it looks disgusting. Second, there's a non-zero chance that it'll turn me into a purple glistening monster. But if it doesn't, who knows what kind of power we could unlock. And power is always worth a little risk. Ah, so that's how it is. A pity. Because if you continue to get between me and what I want, I will have to find a way through you. Just something to think about.
Poor lad. I could give you peace, you know. But no. You gotta keep silent, don't you? Where do they flee to? You stubborn rat!
Please, stop!
Ah, here to see your friend, have ya? Come and join him if you like.
As the symbol glows, power courses through you. Authority.
We do all the work, and you get to finish him? Bah! Take him! Won't do you any good. He just screams. Should have sent him to Moonrise with the rest, for all the good he's been.
Please, please! Let me out! There's no reason for this! Thank you. Thank you so much.
The lock clicks and opens.
Thank you. I better go before they catch us. I should be able to make it to the Grove on my own. They need to know they're in danger.
The Grove. To the east. They wanted to know where we came from. They'll kill everyone. Please, I need to warn them. Hальсин, I don't know. He changed into a bear, but I lost sight of him. I don't know if he's still alive. Yes. He should be here somewhere. They said there was a hidden passage underneath this temple. The place was supposed to be abandoned, but when we arrived. Brian had instructions, but the goblins got him. They said they'd eat him.
I have to go. I have to get out of here.
I don't know. The boss didn't say.
He just said some wizard called Leroacan would reward us if we found it. That's all.
Greetings, child. I've met few aside from goblins here.
You recognize the scourge. This man is a follower of Leviata, goddess of pain.
Ah. Are you also here to assist with the prisoner? Please. The things they do to that man? So crude and primitive. I was invited to teach them. I live for pain and its intricacies, you see. But, alas. Pain without purpose is a terrible thing. Wouldn't you agree? You know the Maiden of Pain. How refreshing. But there is more to us than that. Yes, we worship her through pain, often our own, but it is an intimate and loving thing, one we offer up. If you would permit it, I can show you, firsthand.
I wouldn't let his skilled hand anywhere near me.
Pain is pain, dear one. It is above good and evil. But very well. You are clearly too closed-minded for the ways of Leviata. Now, if you'll excuse me, I should return to my own worship.
Ah, my friend, we can speak freely. I'm in no hurry to take my turn on that spit out front. Perhaps you'd be so kind as to unlock this cage? Curiosity, my friend. It didn't benefit the cat, but it's the foundation of my career. Though I admit I've hit something of an impasse. Please, unlock my cell. Bless you, my friend. I'll wait nicely, but please don't tarry.
Don't go bothering my pigeon. He's mine. Pidge. Keep him safe. Listen to him coo. Till I gets hungry or some such. What's it to ya? Hey, he don't mind. Keeps him safe from me mates. Raids make 'em rabid. Then catch one on your own.
As the symbol glows, power courses through you. Authority.
Take him for a joke, why don't ya? And don't let the lads snatch him up. No, tell him what they'll do to him. Bring him back when he's all tuckered out. Here's the key. Pigeon's all yours.
Aha! I knew I could count on you, my friend. We mustn't tarry, but I'd hate for our friendship to end here. Please, won't you meet me once we've both slipped the goblin yoke? Why, by design, my friend. How better to learn the ways of a people than to live among them? I dare say the experiment has proven most fruitful, too. I'll be happy to share my findings once we've found somewhere safe to parley. An invisibility potion, my friend. A bit less refined than your mendacious method, but by God, it'll do the trick. Smashing! Soon, my friend. Soon we can share a flagon of something liquid and a tale of daring do. I'll slip away when the coast is clear. See you soon, my friend. I simply can't wait to pick your brain!
The jingle of coin, I hear? You've timed it well, my friend. Already turned quite the profit today, so I'm feeling generous. You joking? Goblins sell the best prisoners. Cheap, quiet, and eager to be elsewhere. Till this crowd converted and started sending their captives to Moonrise Towers, at least. No complaints, mate. I just sold enough smoke powder to cover the loss 10 times over. Ask the drow they're all bowing to. That glint in her eye is bad news for someone. Not my concern, so long as I'm paid. Speaking of, something to trade or what?
Sugan al Shukok, o Taishokek Dos! I command you, corpse. Speak. Reveal truth to the absolute.
By Balduran's bones.
Nothing. Must be reading it wrong. Sugan al Shukok.
This is the big boss. Strike him down.
The hobgoblin turns to you, and the parasite squirms in your skull. You taste the ale on his tongue and the bile in his soul. The visions cloud your inner eye for a brief moment once again. You see the hobgoblin bowing before the armored elf you'd glimpsed before. The elf speaks of the hunt for a great weapon and the rewards that will go to whoever finds it. The hobgoblin's eyes gleam hungrily.
Never saw a true soul like you. But you got the Absolute's blessing.
He doesn't speak his next words, yet they still rattle your skull from within.
You ever talk to a dead squid? Now's your chance.
This Mind Flayer's build is smaller, its garb plainer. A fearsome creature even in death, but not the one that tormented you. Yet it too roamed the Nautiloid. It would have seen you, known you.
Absolute says the dead squiddy had a weapon. I reckon the killer nabbed it and scooted off to that looter camp. We find who killed it, and we find who took that weapon. So settle in.
You suddenly feel a strange anxiety take hold. Not your own, but that of the artifact you carry. Somehow, it's afraid. The artifact does not want to part from you. It does not want to fall into the Absolute's clutches. You choke on black smoke as the hobgoblin bellows his incantation.
I command you, corpse. Speak and say sooth. Lucan ok al koldek shulkok
The hideous corpse rises, tentacles writhing. Your heart seizes. Under questioning, the creature might recognize you as its killer. Razglin's mind reels, then calms. He will speak as you command. With Razglin's voice, you ask.
Who is the Absolute?
Razglin frowns in confusion at a question he would never have asked. Then the creature speaks in visions. Curved drow blades, crude goblin torches, gnoll teeth dripping blood. You see other mind flayers arranged in a serene circle. Absolute unity. Absolute power.
Damn it! That tells me nothing!
You feel Razglin's suspicions. He'd never have asked about his master. You remain in control. Barely.
What were you doing in Faerun?
Again, visions flow through you. A swarm of Githyanki dragon riders, silver blades held high, control panels melting, flesh pods spilled open.
Githyanki. They know something.
Suspicion floods Razglin's mind. Your brain howls as you force a final query into his throat. Another vision consumes you. A memory, seen through the creature's soul-dead eyes. You see a clawed hand open a holding pod to reveal a face. Yours.
You're no true soul. Yeah, you're right. You're a real true soul. I felt it.
The corpse collapses, silent once more.
No, I'm not done! Riddles, all of it, and nothing to show for the trouble but rotting squid meat. No answers, no killer, and no damned weapon. That damned Drow was right. Can't let her get all that glory. Seems I ain't done with you. Report to the Drow. Minthara's the name. She's mounting an attack on that blasted grove. Tell her you'll join her. Praise the Absolute. The Absolute's got room for everyone, long as you don't defy her. And nobody's that stupid. If the Absolute says to take orders from a Drow, then we toe the mark. No questions. You look spiffy to me. What do you need a healer for? Well, let me know when you find one. Priestess Gut's better at causing pain than curing it.
Eye's glassy black surface reflects your gaze. As you gaze deeper, you feel a focus, an intent. You feel a brief lurching connection. The sensation of falling into your own image. endlessly. Confusion, alarm. Then the presence withdraws, leaving a dull black mirror once more.
Your scouting party has not returned, and half of the intruders escaped your guards.
Sorry, mistress. We mucked up.
Until their sanctuary is found, I will take something precious from you every hour that passes. A trinket, a tongue, a limb.
I ain't no use without my limbs. The lad'll make the prisoner squeal soon enough, I swear.
Silence now, creature, or I will silence you forever.
As she turns to you, her thoughts mingle with yours. A cold hand caressing your brain. The chamber melts away to reveal a dark, endless nowhere. In it, you see a vision. The drow listens as a pale-eyed young woman whispers in her ear. One of those the voice spoke of. One of the chosen. The vision fades away.
A half-drow, but a true soul. The Absolute's blessings may atone for the impurities of your blood. Now, you must hunt with me. In her name. Why do you ask? Surely you feel the Absolute moving through me, just as I feel her in you. Now, you must hunt with me. In her name. Worshippers of a false god. Their existence is an insult to the Absolute's claim on this region. There is a weapon the Absolute seeks. I'm sure those wretches have it hidden away there. We will find it amongst the dead and the ashes.
Her excitement is palpable. She lingers on thoughts of victory, of unbelievers' blood spilled, and of the weapon. She will seize it, in the Absolute's name.
The thief, whimpering in our dungeon, tried to flee to their sanctuary. We will continue to remove parts of him until he tells us exactly where it is. He's been resilient, but he'll talk.
She is seeking the grove you visited. Already you feel her mind closing around yours.
Speak, true soul. The hunt must begin soon. Tell me what you know. The Absolute will reward us with such power if we find this place. Fool! You have fallen for his lies. We know that area well. There is nothing hidden there. We will have to do this the hard way. Scour the area and hunt them down, then report back to me.
Gods above, this is wonderful news, but I've seen what goblins do to their captives. I wish we could ride to his rescue, but my people would just wind up slaughtered along with him. I'll pray for him. So long as the goblins hold the roads, I'm afraid it's all we can do. By Delt's virtue, the Blade of Frontiers? What's happened, Will?
I paid the price of angering the wrong devil.
Believe me, I understand better than most.
A moment passes as Zevlor contemplates Will's words. He then turns his attentions to you.
Our time grows short. If Korga won't abandon her madness, then we'll have to try the road, goblins or no.
Ah, my good fellow. Quite the cozy setup you have here. I'll just make myself comfortable. Thank you so much. I was just settling in and reviewing my latest findings. Mind flayers, cultists, and, of course, your esteemed company. Why, I'm practically an expert. They've tentacles, you know? Quite shocking. The druid Hальсин had some kind of mind flare specimen in a jar in his quarters. A replica, no doubt, but truly fascinating to see up close. As a matter of fact, I do. But why do you? That's quite impossible. You'd have undergone ceramorphosis by now. If what you say were true, you'd be a mind flayer by now. You? Infected by a mind flayer? Huh, ridiculous. Isn't it? Perhaps that's for the best. I'd be irresponsible not to debunk such a strange claim. If I just peer in your eye, I could quickly... Oh, dear sweet gods! I mean, yes. I suppose I can. I'll need to research the particulars, however. Give me a bit of time, and I'll have this little issue sorted. My research turned up a rather brilliant technique that seems quite actionable. It's not too deep, just behind the orbital socket. I could attempt an extraction. I've a needle in my tunic, after all. I assure you, I've dreamt of it 1,000 times over. You won't find a more learned opinion on this matter, I assure you. You only have a matter of days to live. Don't dally, my friend.
That is most gratifying to hear. May I? Thank you.
Good gods. It hardly has any effect. Oh, Mistra, have mercy on us all.
Listen, I need to speak to you, to all of you. It would be unconscionable of me to remain silent.
I might just be about to remedy that. You have to know who I was. You have to know who I really am. What I am is a walking shadow of the promise I once held. I'm what one might call a wizard prodigy. And from an early age could not only control the weave, but compose it. Much like a musician or a poet. Such was my skill that it earned me the attention of the mother of magic herself. The Lady of Mysteries. The goddess Mistra. She revealed herself to me and she became my teacher. In time, she became my muse. And later, even my lover. Oh, yes. We enjoyed each other's company. Body, mind, and soul. But even so, I desired more. You see, no matter how powerful a wizard we mortals can become, we never scratch more than the surface of the weave. Mistra keeps us in check. There are boundaries she doesn't let us cross. Yet, every time I was with her, I stood on the precipice, gazing into the wonders that lay beyond. I sought to cross her boundaries. try to convince her. I pouted, I pleaded, swore my ambition was only to serve her better. She only smiled and told me to be contented. But inconceivable as it seems to me now, I shared a bed with a goddess, and yet I wasn't satisfied. So I sought to prove myself worthy to her instead. We come now to the crux of my folly. Shall I share the story behind it, or would you rather head straight to its sordid finale? Very well. Here goes. Once upon a very long time ago, a mighty lord lived in a tower. A flying tower, to be precise. I'll save his history for another time, but the gist of it is that he sought to usurp the goddess of magic so that he could become a god himself. He almost managed, but not quite. And his entire empire, Netheril, came crashing down around him as he turned to stone. The magic that was unleashed that day was phenomenal. Roiling like the prime chaos that outdates creation. Even the weave itself could not withstand the onslaught. It fractured, then shattered, and all magic was lost to the mortal realms. Until the day Mistra returned. She restored the weave, reuniting all its scattered shards. Or so I thought. Until, in the course of my studies, I learned of a book. Netherese tome in which a piece of the fractured weave had been sealed beyond her reach. What if, I thought, what if, after all this time, I could return this lost part of herself to the goddess? The answer was to try. The outcome was to fail. I was certain that this deed of raw power, draped in romance, would convince Mistra to take me by the hand and welcome me into her hitherto forbidden domains. I was mistaken. I obtained the fabled book and took it into my study. As for what happened next... Here. Place your hand over my heart. Let me show you.
You feel the tadpole quiver as you realize Gale is letting you into the dark. You see through Gale's eyes, staring down the corridors of a dread memory. A book bound and suddenly opened. Inside there are no pages, only a swirling mass of blackest weave that pounces. Its teeth, its claws, it's unstoppable as it digs through and becomes part of you. And God says it ever hungry.
Thankfully, the moment I absorbed the fragment wasn't enough to kill me outright. It was only the beginning. This Netherese blight, this orb, for lack of a better word, is balled up inside my chest. And it needs to be fed. As long as I absorb traces of the weave from potent enough sources, it remains quiet. Were it ever to fully destabilize, however. I will erupt. I don't know the exact magnitude of the eruption, but given my studies of Netherese magic, I'd say even a fragment as small as the one I carry, it'd level a city the size of Waterdeep. We might chance upon a king's collection of magical artifacts around the corner. We might cross paths with a miracle round the bend. Then again, we might not. All of this, it must feel like a betrayal. Say the word, and we'll part ways.
That is a great relief. Oh, a great relief indeed. You truly are a soul that steals my own. From all my new rallied heart, I thank you. I thank you all. I understand if you stand against me. I'm humbled if you stand with me. Either way, I will do my best not to let you down. I stand at a precipice, but if you do not give up hope, neither shall I. I'll fight. I'll resist as long as I can. Now, even I am tired of the sound of my own voice. Let us venture forth.
Ah, yes. Karsus. Karsus was perhaps the most powerful wizard that ever lived. The child who would be a god, the elves called him. And he tried. With a spell of his own devising, he endeavored to usurp in one fell swoop the power of the goddess of magic. Mistral, she was called then. Imagine what it must have felt like. To be a god. To know yourself, to be untouchable. To be mistaken. As Karsus aimed his spell at her, she began to unravel. And with her, the entire weave. Too late did he realize what he had unleashed. It would have been the end of everything had not Mistral sacrificed herself. The goddess of magic is all magic. By dying, the entire weave was lost, and the spell that challenged a god failed. It was the end of Mistral, the end of Karsus, and the end of an entire civilization. As the child who would be a god was turned to stone, his empire came crashing down around him. The floating cities of Netheril were no more. An event that came to be known as Karsus's folly. For a spell, Mistral was reborn as Mistra. Upon her return, the weave returned with her. Now, so many centuries later, I try to follow in the footsteps of Karsus. Not to destroy Mistra, but to prove my love for her. Tried to control only a fraction of the magic that was unleashed that fateful day. I merely sought to return one tiny diamond to an imperfect crown. Gale's folly, one might call it. History, repetition. It's the way things go. If it should ever come to that, if I ever know I am no longer able to stop it, I will do anything I can to ensure no one but me pays for my mistakes. I will find the remotest place on the surface of Faerun, or perhaps far below in the depths of the Underdark. I will await that death, alone. I promise I will not betray your trust. You kept me by your side despite the menace that I am. If worst comes to worst, I will be long gone before the curtain falls. Good evening to you. I take it you're here to pick me up on that bedtime story you were promised. Marvelous. It's a story full of answers long overdue. It's the story of a man who fell in love with a goddess. I know, but a bit of narrative distance will make it so much easier in the telling. Indulge me. Thank you. Once upon a time, not quite that long ago, there lived a wizard in a tower. The wizard was what one might call a prodigy, who from an early age could not only control the weave, but compose it, like a musician or a poet. Such was his skill that it earned him the attention of the mother of magic herself, the Lady of Mysteries, Mistra. He was, even though it was in Mistra's affections that his true power lay. Perhaps it was not quite love, but you see, the wizard was but a very young man. It was most certainly love to him. Mistra showed him the secrets beneath the veils. The gossamer veils first, draped across the weave. The delicate veils next, draped across her body. Chosen one, she whispered. She slipped them off completely. Yes. Until one day, all too soon, the whispers stopped. The goddess spurned the mortal. The veils were drawn once more, and the wizard was left behind, heartbroken. Like so many of the heartbroken, he did something infinitely foolish. One has to think big if one seeks to win back a goddess. So the wizard thought big. In a word, yes. Here goes. Once upon a time, very long ago, a mighty lord lived in a tower. A flying tower, to be precise. I'll save his story for another time, but the gist of it is that he sought to usurp the goddess of magic so that he could become a god himself. He almost managed, but not quite. And his entire empire, Netheril, came crashing down around him as he turned to stone. The magic unleashed that day was phenomenal. Rolling like the prime chaos that outdates creation. A fragment of it was caught and sealed away in a book. No ordinary book, mind you. A tome of gateways that contained within it a bubble of astral plane. It was a fragment of primal weave locked out of time. Locked away from Mystra herself. What if, the silly wizard thought, what if after all this time, I could return this lost part of herself to the goddess? So it goes with Wizards of Waterdeep. It is a city filled with the most obscure arcana. He obtained the book and took it into his study. As for what happened next, here. Place your hand over my heart. Let me show you.
You feel the tadpole quiver as you realize Gale is letting you in. Into the dark. You see through Gale's eyes, staring down the corridors of a dread memory. A book, bound, then suddenly opened. Inside there are no pages, only a swirling mass of blackest weave that pounces. Its teeth, its claws, it's unstoppable as it digs through you and becomes part of you. And God's is it ever hungry.
All things magic. This Netherese taint, this orb, for lack of a better word, is balled up inside my chest. And it needs to be fed. As long as it absorbs weave, it remains stable, to an extent. The moment it becomes unstable, however, it will erupt. I don't know the exact magnitude of the eruption, but given my studies of Netherese magic, I'd say even a fragment as small as the one I carry, it'd level a city the size of Waterdeep. It is my truth, finally revealed. It is this folly that led Mystra to abandon me completely. I can only hope that you won't abandon me as well. After all we've been through, surely we can brave even this side by side. That is a great relief. Oh, a great relief indeed. It is an honor to call you a friend. Many challenges lie ahead, but in this moment I believe nothing to be insurmountable. What do you say? Should we call it a night? Or do you have questions for me? I'll be honest with you. I don't know. She's my muse still, the embodiment of magic. But the embodiment of love? Only if we ever meet again will I know. The orb was kept safe and inert in a pocket of astral plane, suspended in time. If I can somehow manage to expel it from my body while in the astral plane, it will be rendered inert again. Alternatively, I could learn to control its chaotic magic. That is, to succeed where I failed before. Without Mistra's favor, I don't see how that may come to pass. Of course, there could be different answers as well. Faerun brims with more magic than any one wizard could fathom, let alone comprehend. Who knows what outlandish solutions may yet present themselves. Good night, then. And thank you.
See? It squealed! Hit it again! Keep your hands steady, 3.
Stop them! Free me!
Again! Again! Make it squeal again. We're juicing it up. The beast came in here with those robbers, killed Dink and Mince too. Boss is thinking of serving it to the wargs. And it makes funny noises. We made it squeal. Look, you'll see. Give me that rock. I'll show ya. What here? Get lost if you can't stand a bit of roughhousing.
Release me! Get rid of them! Time for blood! Viscera. One should cherish all of nature's bounty, but goblin guts are quite far down the list. Not only do you speak with a bear, but you free it too? A true friend of nature. Or perhaps a lunatic. Either way, I owe thanks. I am the druid Hальсин. Indeed? Well, not the most opportune moment, but given the lengths you went to, I assume there's some urgency. Come on then, what's the problem? Unless you'd rather wait for an audience of goblins. Oak Father preserve you, child. You're infected, aren't you? The Mind Flayer's spawn. But something's different. You're aware of the monster inside you. You don't bow to the Absolute like the true souls do. How is this possible? That looks very alien. As alien as the Mind Flayers. They do not belong on this world. You weren't speaking lightly when you said you needed help. Let me tell you what I know. I've been studying these parasites for a while now. Ever since I discovered these so-called true souls are infected with them. Someone is using very powerful magic to modify these tadpoles. They're using them to exert control over the infected. I'm sorry to say, I can't undo that magic, which means I can't cure you. But that doesn't mean I can't help. I didn't find what I came here for, a way to remove the tadpoles, but I found the next best thing. I found out where they come from. That must be where these enchantments are placed on them. And it's where you'll find your cure. I overheard that the cultists are sending all of their captives to Moonrise Towers. Innocents go in, true souls come out. Given that all of these true souls are infected, it has to be the source for this magic. If you want to find a cure, you must head there and discover how the tadpoles are being manipulated.
I'm as certain as I can be. If you have a better alternative, I won't stop you. I can't stop you, in fact, which brings me to my next problem. I've no right to ask more of you, but if you could help me, I'd be free to join your journey to Moonrise. I cannot allow these butchers to threaten my grove. The natural order must be protected. My thanks. If you prevail, I'll owe you the debt of a lifetime. Rare is the beast that survives decapitation. Help me eliminate the Drow Mintara, the hobgoblin Дрор Разглин, and that perversion of a priestess, Gut. They are the ones holding these parasites together. Remove them, and nature will cure itself. Be warned. My presence could make things more difficult. I can only restrain my bear form so much. I won't be able to help but attack goblins. If I join you, we'll likely have to slaughter this entire place. You may want to use discretion when approaching the goblin leaders. So be it. May Sylvanas lend us nature's fury.
Done. Shall we extend our contract? Is gold not the pilot of our world vessel? I am a proud glutton, and not just for meat. Consider it a deal, my morsel. You know my terms. Sound the horn when you are ready.
Did it? You actually did it! The leader's dead! Praise Sylvanas. No, that's not right. Praise you, my friend. The Grove owes you a debt beyond measure. Killing's never my first choice, but those three were too dangerous to leave alive. Let's get out of this pit, firstly. Return to the Grove. I'll make my own way there. I can see to some matters there, and we can discuss what comes next amidst more bucolic surroundings than here.
I did miss that face, you know. Who knows? Drow? Mind flayers? Death? Hopefully not ours. But maybe answers. If we can convince the right people to talk.
I promised I'd be back. Don't worry. I have things under control. For now. You haven't been using the parasite's power. You think you don't need it. But things haven't gone as you expected. You hoped a druid as powerful as Hальсин might be able to remove your tadpole. But he couldn't. You're desperate to be rid of it. Understandable. But you're looking for solutions in the wrong places. Yes. Hальсин is correct. Your parasite is unusual. It is wrapped in magic that prevents its removal. Until the source of the tadpole's magic is destroyed, any attempt to remove it will kill you. You were lucky that Hальсин knew this. His instincts are right. The parasites were merely a symptom of a greater sickness in Faerun. I have kept a careful watch on the movements of the cult, though the absolute aims are not yet clear to me. Its methods are. These parasites are more than illicit spawn. They are vessels for control. The infected hear the voice of the Absolute and believe it to be a god. That is how the cult of the Absolute is spreading. The highest of their rank, the true souls, carry a tadpole just like yours. It is how they receive their orders. It is what makes them obey. When the order to transform is given, it will not be a matter of days. They will be mind flayers in an instant. Were it not for my protection, so would you. It's complicated, but I'm an adventurer. Just like you. Just like you, I was infected with a mind flayer parasite. Just like you, I seek to be free of it. I've been trying to escape from this evil for a long time. Once, I almost succeeded. Now, through you, I've been given a new chance. You can go where I cannot, and I can protect you from that evil. If we work together, we may turn this around. Hells. They need me. I have to go. The power I used to protect you, I stole it from someone. They want it back. I will hold them off for as long as I can, but sooner or later I will be worn down. You must discover the source of the magic that controls the parasites before that happens. The cultists are gathering at Moonrise Towers. Use the powers your parasite gives you to convince them you are one of them. And when you find the source of their magic, destroy it. Go. Our freedom depends on it.
Dreaming of our enigmatic visitor again. She told me our purpose was to take on this cult of the Absolute, to infiltrate its ranks and bring it down from the inside. She even offered me greater powers, the result of some manipulation of the tadpole's psionic abilities. Given the magnitude of what we're up against, I see no harm in considering the benefit this offer might afford us. Could be the only way to reach this source in one piece. I suppose you're right. We still see only a part of the picture, however much our visitor claims to show the full vista of options at our disposal. I can't deny my curiosity, but, as you say, no harm in delaying it, for now at least.
I had another visit from that dream figure. I take it you did too. It claims that if we infiltrate the heart of the cult that's giving out these parasites, we'll find the answers we're looking for. It gave me another gift, too. Just like it did the first time it appeared. Rather generous, if you ask me. On the one hand, you're right. On the other, don't be so wet behind the ears. Did you actually want something, or are you just here to spoil my fun?
Had another dream last night. The visitor came to me and ordered me to penetrate the heart of the very cult that's spreading the infection. It gave me a tadpole gift too, just like it did the first time it appeared. I suppose it hoped this would help. At first, I thought we should avoid these gifts no matter what advantage we gain. And yet, I can't help recall the words of my father. The best plan is the one that works. These powers could be enough to edge us towards victory. Then we do well to walk around it.
Use these powers sparingly, if you must use them at all.
I had another dream. Which, I suppose, means you did as well. Whoever's reaching out to us truly does seem opposed to the Absolute, but wants us to embrace the tadpole. Venture right into the heart of the cult. Perhaps we truly have a secret protector. Or we're walking into a trap.
Another visit from the Golden Paladin. It said we'll get the answers we need about the tadpole if we infiltrate the cult. Agreed. A bit of shiny armor doesn't impress me that much. I don't want to get taken in by a pretty offer and pay the price later on.
Another dream. Another order from that dubious visitor. It announced that we will find the answers we seek in the Absolute Cultist's lair, and offered another generous gift. A persuasive creature. It tempts us with power, expresses its admiration, its adoration. Avert your eyes whenever it appears, and do not avail yourself of this new power, no matter how alluring. You've no idea what damage it could do to us, how far into illithid madness it could drag us. Well chosen. Battles are won with swords, not mind games born of brainworms. And there will come a battle, of that I'm most certain. The one truth that fell out of the dream figure's cankered lips. It is a certainty. I had assumed our parasites served a Geich elder, but I believe they serve a greater master still. An elder brain. It lives without body, without armor, save the brine pool it inhabits. To split one apart is a Githyanki's great pleasure. To die to its mind blast, a Githyanki's dread. Many would nigh lose their minds just to near one. Even, well, most would, and have.
You're always a pleasure to watch. Every day you become stronger. Every night you grow. But you deserve even more.
His fingers flex against his thigh, coiled with tension, longing.
Let me help you. I knew you were the right choice. Let me show you what's to come. Your enemies will fall. The world will bow. You'll have everything you could ever desire. Just let me in.
Don't tell me. Another dream. And this one was more intense. One of us goes messing in heads and the brain bug gets cranky. Sure as snow in deep winter. My mistake. And a costly one at that. Look, I'd sooner be done with these night sweats than poke people's brains. I'll be more careful. I promise.
Your face aches, like your jaw's been wrenched asunder. Your tongue is lead, skull eager to burst.
Why won't you let me in? Can't you feel what's happening?
How dare you? After everything I've sacrificed to get us this far.
I don't want to rip you apart, darling. I want us to be together.
Nausea twists your stomach, but it's hunger, not revulsion. Something inside you clamors for blood, for death, and only the tear of flesh will do. It wants him.
You disgust me. So utterly ungrateful. I'll find you again. And next time, you'll beg me for forgiveness.